We're back. Wednesday's BT. Many people here in our country talking money, given the fact the Bank of Canada just bumped the key interest rate up 25 basis points, the highest this rate has been since 2009. Blair Mantin, consumer debt specialist from Sands and Associates, joining us. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
If you are living in Vancouver, in BC, many people are thinking, what does this mean for my mortgage?
Yeah, in general, it's not good, right? This is generally a good news story for banks, for people that charge interest, but for people that are paying interest, it just means things just got more expensive. So, you know, two types of mortgages typically. There's a fixed rate mortgage, which this isn't going to hit you until it's time to renew, but you can expect when you're renewing that the mortgage rates are going to be higher than what you're locked in at. But the immediate impact is if you've got a variable rate mortgage. Variable rate mortgage is normally your prime rate plus some differential. We've seen the prime rate go up by 28% just since July 2017. This is a big increase, cumulative, and it's happening all, now.
With this increased frequency in the bumps and the projections from many analysts saying, hey, we could see more increases in 2018.
Yeah.
Do you think we will see the comeback of the 5-year fixed rate? Because money has been cheap over the last 10 years. Or do you think Canadians will now play more safe?
Yeah, I think people are going to want to sleep at night, and I think they're going to want to realize that we've been historically low interest rates. This has been a 10-year cycle of very, very low interest rates, and if you want to have certainty, typically I think a lot more people are going to lock in. You will have the risk takers because historically variable rate, you've saved a bit of money, but if you want payment certainty, locking in is probably going to make some sense.
Okay, mortgage is one part of the equation. Then we move over to the line of credit, and some people may have been using the line of credit for home renovations, investments on the side. How are the line of credits directly impacted by today's announcement?
Yeah, you just said it's a very direct impact because they're driven exactly by these interest rates. So the people most at danger here is those that are just paying interest only, because you can do that. You can take money out against your house and just pay the interest cost. And if that's all you're doing, again, it's almost a 30% increase in that payment since July. Most people can't absorb that into their budget. If you've got more of a blended rate, some principal, some interest, it's not going to be as drastic of an increase, but you are going to see things go up.
What about credit card debt? Any issues there for direct impact?
Well, that's kind of the good news story, and it's good in a rather ironic way in that it's already so expensive. Credit card debt is typically 29%. That's prime plus 17 to 27%. I don't expect them to pass along a 0.25 rate increase. So I think for credit cards, if you're carrying a balance, you're in the minority, but still 40% of people carry a balance. You've already got issues dealing with 20% interest rates. 0.25 isn't going to have an impact.
Well, seeing the big six banks take a proactive move and up their mortgage rates last night ahead of today's announcement is interesting. And then I think on the flip side, with the uptick in our savings accounts and safer investments, will we see the benefit of this key interest rate on our own investment side versus the debt?
Yeah, there definitely should be. It should be a case that if you're saving money on an interest-bearing account, you'll see that some of that rate will be passed along.
The entire rate or just a portion?
It depends bank to bank. It should be the entire rate. Not all banks are going to do that. It should be rather immediate. Not all banks are going to do that. So check with your bank, see if they're going to pass it along right away or if there'll be some delay, and perhaps shop around. Okay,
so for anybody absorbing today's information, wondering, well, okay, what do I do to get ahead and manage my debt in 2018? What do you suggest?
Well, first off, don't panic. This is a natural part of the business cycle. We weren't used to, 2% interest rates, so it is more normal levels that we're getting back to. So rates go up and they go down. If you've been prudent, you haven't put yourself on the knife's edge with, 2% money, interest only, and things like that. If you are in that situation, you've got to really take a hard look at your budget. You've got to think about, if there's another rate increase, what can I absorb, and is this going to put me behind on some other debts? You may have to look at restructuring some of your other debts in the event that your mortgage payment suddenly goes up significantly.
A lot to consider when it comes to the debt, especially for families and cost of living in Vancouver and all across the country. Blair, always great to have you on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for the insight, given the announcement today.